Hello, Crop Walk leaders. My name's Joanne Despodes, and I've been the co-chair of the Oak Park Area Walk, which we call Hunger Walkathon West, since 2015. You know, we would love to be able to be with you today, but because Hunger Walkathon West is a spring walk, we're of course having our recruiter rally today, so we can't be with you. Just to give you a little information about us, the walk has been around this is our 36th year, and we've raised about $1.5 million. In 2018, we raised $82,500. In 2017, we raised just over $80,000, and we were the 9th highest fundraising walk in the country. You know, I was asked to come and talk with you about my philosophy and how we implement it. So my philosophy is that we're having this event to raise money. It's not about fitness or fun or community building or raising awareness about hunger. If we don't raise money, it is a lot of effort for a lot of people who really have time, you know, they could really be doing something else with their time. And so, you know, for me, I really don't care if people just come there that day, turn in their money, and go home. I also don't care if people raise money online and then forgot and then don't walk. Really, that's not that important to me. And so everything that we talk about when we have our team meetings, I approach from the standpoint of how does it help us raise more money? Now, sometimes team members aren't on the same page with me about that, and I hope that what I do is let them know that I appreciate their perspective, but that this is, after all, a fundraiser. Now, I need to say here that we do a lot of things to make this an educational and a fun community event, but to me, that's the gravy. The meat is raising the money, okay? So my goal is always to raise more money than we did the year before. If we're able to do that, I feel we've succeeded. I also need to say that it's only possible to do this with a dedicated team planning and putting together the event. So whatever else we do, we always keep an eye on, are we getting new team members? So specifically, what do we do or have we done in the past to make sure that we raise money? Well, taking care of recruiters is key. We currently have recruiters at 18 churches, 2 schools, and 1 manufacturing plant. And we also have 10 recipient agencies, some of them run by churches, that we also encourage to recruit fundraising participants. The care and feeding of these 30 organizations and the recruiters is essential. I'm in contact with them via email several times before the walk. We have the recruiter rally, which we're having this morning, and that's where they receive their materials and encouragement, and they're also given assistance to set up their own web page for their group. If they, you know, and we help them with that. That's really important because some people feel overwhelmed. If they're not able to attend the rally, then we set up one-on-one meetings and do the same thing with them. Given there are 30 groups, we obviously try to put them together in the rally, but not everybody can come. Another thing that we do to help make sure we raise money is we've really embraced online fundraising. And every recruiting team is expected to set up a website and to encourage their participants to raise money online. We help them to do it, and we explain how successful it can be. Now, I look at myself as an example. I haven't asked for money face-to-face for the Crop Walk in several years. I do all my fundraising online, and last year, I can't remember the amount, but I was able to raise more than $3,000. This is just from sending emails. So it works, okay? So it's about the money. We try to make it clear that we expect participants to raise a minimum of $25. Last year, we had a group of young people from one of the high schools, and their teacher thought that asking them each to raise $25 was not going to work. So I said, okay, let's encourage them each to raise $15 and just to do their best. Well, you know what? They did it. You know, it's important to set expectations. If we don't set an expectation that it's a fundraising event, then people will get the idea that it's just a fun community event. That's not what we're doing, okay? So sometimes people show up at the walk because we've publicized it and they know about it, and they're just there to walk. They haven't gotten any pledges, or we don't even call them pledges. They haven't gotten any donations. They're just there to walk. Well, we very carefully explained to them that that's great. We're happy to see them. And by the way, we expect everybody to donate at least $25. We've never had a problem with getting people to donate. I think it's pretty common when people get involved in an event like this, they understand that there's a registration fee. We don't really charge a registration fee, but we tell them it's an expectation. Now, so then what else do we do? After the walk, I let recruiters know just how their group did in terms of raising money. We kind of encourage a little bit of competition that way, so see what the other groups have done. And sometimes we've had actual competitions between churches, especially if they're like-sized or alike in motivation, trying to encourage them to sort of compete against each other. Sometimes, as we are collecting the money after the walk, I'll send a note out to the recruiters and say, you know, we're like $1,000 short. If 10 churches could come up with $100, we'd make the goal. This works. It works. It's an attainable, measurable goal. It's very easy for somebody to say, hey, our church, all we need to do is come up with $100. People can do it. Now, actually, on average, I said we think of our minimum as $25. Actually, our average last year was $200 per walker, more than $200 per walker. So, you know, there are obviously some walkers that do a lot more. Another thing that we do is manage our recipient organizations. We have 10 recipients. Each of them is expected to complete an agreement and turn it in order to be part of our walk, to be a recipient. They're expected to acknowledge the walk in their materials to their funders and their volunteers. We encourage them to get volunteers to participate as fundraisers and to provide walk day assistance. This is part of what's expected of them as recipients. Now, recipients know they're going to receive a minimum of $1,000, plus they receive a percentage of what they made compared to the rest of the recipients. So of the 25% we get, our 10 recipients each get $1,000, and then the rest is split up based on how much work they did to raise money. For small food pantries, this can be their main fundraiser. They really put a lot of effort into it. And so this helps them. They're raising money anyway, plus they get an extra $1,000. So then there's the whole publicity thing. You know, our walk, Hunger Walkathon West, has been around. This is the 36th year. We are known in this community. We put up yard signs. I don't know if you can see it right now, but over my shoulder is our current yard sign. We have like 150 of these that we put up around the community. We have banners, we have posters we put up in restaurants and so forth. And so each year we remind people that the walk is coming again. We have our own website, which Marty expertly manages. We have Facebook and Twitter feeds, and we're quite active on social media, so people are aware we're here. Our local paper will sometimes run pre-walk articles, depending on if we can get them interested. But they've been wonderfully generous with post-walk thank you ads every year for, I can't even say how many years, at least 10, probably 20 years. We've also been on local radio. And we're talking about maybe we can be on our local television cable channel. So we really get the word out as best we can. When it's crop walk season, everybody in the community you can't help but see our signage. Then one other big thing that we've done more recently, I would say, is soliciting business support. We have a committee that solicits businesses to support the walk, and for the last 2 years, they've raised around $11,000.
Well, I'm Doug Wyman. I've been involved in the crop walk for well over 10 years. And for us to look at businesses and have the businesses sponsor the crop walk for $250, $500, or $1,000, and a number of people did that. And so that concept we're going to create even further next year.
With those support funds, we've bought things like t-shirts, like this one that I'm wearing. This was our 35th anniversary shirt. This is the one from the previous year. You notice the match to the yard sign. And so those shirts, by the way, have the names of our business donors, our logos of our business donors on the back. We use the business support funds to do things like get t-shirts, get more yard signs, basically that kind of support work. And it's interesting because our businesses here in Oak Park and Forest Park and the surrounding area, they understand that, and they're willing to support us in our efforts. But we always make more money from our business support than what we need. And so we will add that money back into our fundraising. So last year we raised almost $11,000 and $7,000 of it went into the fundraising. So, this is a wonderful thing. And as I was saying before, we put names on back of t-shirts. There are other different acknowledgments that we give to businesses based on their level of support. We have a request letter that goes to our businesses, and I'm going to make sure you have a copy of that for your meeting so you can look at it. The other thing we have is a super fundraiser. We have Doug Wyman. Now, Doug is a salesman who has turned his selling skills to selling Hunger Walkathon West. He himself raises over $10,000 a year, and he has taught us that it's okay to ask repeatedly for support for such a good cause. Doug always tells us to make our goals high, so that he always says our goals should be $100,000. Now, I personally like to reach my goals, so my goal is always more than last year. And so far, we've been able to reach that goal. Either way, you know that as we raise this money, it's a big part of helping hungry people all over the world, and we are excited to be doing it. So I hope this has been helpful. I would be happy to answer questions, or if any of you would like to attend our walk on May 5th or visit us during meetings, you can contact us through our website, which is HWWCROP.org, and we will set something up. Thank you.